Hey friend, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. How about you?
I'm good. Hey, I thought about going to this new restaurant downtown tonight. Do you want to go?
No, I'm actually on day 2 of 3 for the RawGeneration skinny juice cleanse. No solid food for me.
Oh, wow. What made you want to only drink juice for 3 days?
Well, with all the sitting around at home with COVID, I've definitely gained a few pounds. And their website says that if I do a skinny cleanse, I'll feel lighter and my body will let go of what's been holding me down.
That seems pretty vague. Do they ever make an explicit claim about weight loss?
Well, I guess not, but I know I'll feel lighter. And look at these before and after shots of other people. They say most customers lose an average of 5 pounds in 3 days on the skinny cleanse. Some people have even lost 8 pounds.
It sounds like Raw Generation might be trying to mislead you to believe that their juices guarantee weight loss. And I'm not sure I would trust anecdotal stories of other people's experiences.
Well, if I can't trust other people's stories, what can I trust?
Meta-analyses are pretty quality sources of information. Does Raw Generation cite any scientific evidence for their claim that juices are making most customers lose 5 pounds in 3 days?
Well, no, not that I remember. So, what the heck is a meta analysis?
It's when researchers study research, which sounds weird, but it's how they systematically examine multiple independent studies, normally with the goal of looking for common trends and patterns. It's compiling all the evidence on a topic so you know what the overall consensus is. Each study looked at the strength of the relationship between two variables, like juice cleanses and weight loss, which is condensed into a number called an effect size. And then the meta analysis combines all the studies into a single analysis that reports a combined effect size.
Studies? Well, look, Fraud Generation did include a bunch of links to well known magazines on their homepage that wrote articles about their juices. Magazines like Forbes, Refinery 29, and Cosmopolitan. I can trust those.
Well, a magazine article is definitely different from a meta analysis, but what did these articles even say?
I guess most of them just offer the juices as gift recommendations. There's not much analysis on the actual results of the cleanses.
Sounds a little suspicious and misleading. I found one of those meta analysis articles, and it does not seem to support Raw Generation's claim of feeling lighter. This article is much more trustworthy than your magazines. It was published in 2020 and it includes 35 RCTs.
Hold on. What the heck is an RCT?
RCT stands for randomized control trial. Basically, a group of people will be randomly divided into different groups that will receive different interventions. One of the interventions has to be the control, so it's a standard practice or no intervention at all. That way, you compare what happens to the groups who receive interventions to the groups that receive control.
Okay, I guess this does sound more legitimate than the magazine articles. So, what did these studies even say in the first place?
Well, the meta analysis that included 35 RCTs found that fruit juice consumption had no significant association with weight.
Well, that's just fruit juice consumption. Too much fruit is too sugary. It can make you feel heavy. The cleanse that I'm doing includes vegetables too.
Well, there's a meta analysis that includes vegetable and fruit juice consumption as well. The study only included 7 RCTs, but ultimately the authors reached the same conclusion. Fruit and vegetable juice consumption does not lead to weight loss either.
Okay, but I'm not just eating lots of fruits and vegetables. I'm only eating fruits and vegetables for 3 whole days. That's different from these studies, right? Surely I'll lose my COVID weight with this. I want to look good for the beach this summer.
Actually, there's a study that specifically looked at what happened when people do a 3-day fruit and vegetable juice cleanse.
What did it say? They all lost weight, right?
Well, 25 adults did the cleanse, and the BMI decreased by an average of zero point 0.6 and a standard deviation of zero point 0.4 right after the cleanse, which means that basically no one in the study lost more than 1 point off of their BMI, which is weight divided by height.
See, I told you I would lose weight.
Not so fast. That was immediately after the cleanse. At a 2 week follow up period, the BMI was only decreased by 0.33 with a standard deviation of zero point 0.3. That means that 15% of the people actually gained more weight after the juice cleanse, and most people lost very little weight. The decreases in weight are minimal and likely not long term, since the weight loss already began to diminish after 2 weeks. In another study for a 3-day fruit and vegetable juice cleanse, participants lost an average of 3.7 pounds per person at the end of the cleanse, which they report in kilograms in this graph. But when they weighed participants 2 weeks later, the average weight loss was just 2 pounds. The studies are looking at small groups of people, And they don't have a control group that they weighed that wasn't doing the cleanse. And in the world of science, that makes it really hard to know if it's the juice that's making a difference.
Okay. So maybe I won't necessarily lose weight long term through this juice cleanse. But it's not the only reason I'm doing this. It's also supposed to boost my immune system. I'm always catching a cold or something. And with this, I'll be the healthiest person I know. I'll never get sick.
Are you sure that's what will happen?
Well, their website says my natural defenses will be boosted and I'll have improved immune functioning. I'll also have improved gut health, which I've heard is the key to a healthy body and clear mind. And I have research to back this up.
Another magazine article?
No, actually, a legitimate study. 27 men were given 12 ounces of juice made up of apple, mango, and orange juice for 4 weeks. Through a few different measures, it was found that gut health improved in most participants.
That's interesting. Were the participants eating a whole food diet along with the juice?
Yeah, what does that have to do with anything?
That research can't be generalized to a juice cleanse program. The potentially negative effects of only consuming juice for 3 days on the gut microbiome aren't talked about at all, and 25 participants is a pretty small sample size.
Okay, fine. I found another legitimate source for the health benefits of juice.
Let's hear it.
Well, 17 people drank 16 fluid ounces of carrot juice daily for 3 months. At the end of it, systolic blood pressure was decreased by an average of 5% in participants.
I've also read this study and I'm not sure how trustworthy it is. A ton of different measures were assessed after the 3 months of drinking carrot juice, and most didn't significantly change. The only thing that changed was the blood pressure, and there was no control group. So, again, we're not really sure if blood pressure changed because of the carrot juice or some other factor.
Okay, there is one other thing that RawGeneration says Skinny Cleanse can help with that I think would be good for me. Let me show you that part on their website. It's great. They believe the Skinny Cleanse will kick off a healthier diet and act as a way to retrain yourself to eat better. I feel like that sounds really good with summer right around the corner.
That's an interesting claim to make. I wonder how they know their products will do that if they aren't citing any studies. Is it another claim they make from customer reviews?
I suppose so. Their products have lots of positive reviews, and lots of people tag RawGeneration in photos on Instagram. And they look like the person I want to be.
Those are marketing strategies. You have to think about who is leaving a review or posting a picture and who isn't. Someone who is seeing results or feels good about the product will want to share that.
I guess so.
And someone who doesn't see results and did the cleanse the right way might feel like it's their fault and not want to share that with people.
Yeah, you're probably right.
But the claim you mentioned earlier that the cleanse will reboot your diet, I think I found a study that might say otherwise. It is hard to generalize to this situation because it's not exactly the same, but some researchers tried comparing randomized groups of people that consumed 8 ounces of fruit and vegetable juice, 16 ounces, or no juice in a day. When they compared vegetable intake in their diets aside from the juice, there was no significant difference in how many vegetables were consumed between groups. Without evidence to back up their claim, RawGeneration doesn't have the grounds to tell you that their juice is the reason you'll stick to a diet.
Wow. And that study you mentioned earlier, where participants did a 3-day juice cleanse like I'm doing, didn't you say that when they weighed them 2 weeks later, some people had gained some of the weight back?
Yes, it doesn't seem viable to say that because you drink only fruit and vegetable juice for 3 days, you'll be motivated to keep dieting.
I really wish that you'd been around before I spent all this money on these juices. They really had me convinced that this cleanse would be a cure-all.
It is good to be skeptical of anything that seems to be a cure-all.
Yeah, but the anecdotes and reviews on the website all made it seem so easy, and the magazines seemed to be backing up the product too, so I thought it could be trusted.
That's the power of marketing. They make it easy to know what they want you to know. But you have to look at the research to see if the claims are legitimate. How are you feeling? Do you still want to finish the cleanse?
I don't know. After talking with you, I kind of feel like this whole idea of a juice cleanse and detoxifying your life might not be legit.
No, it probably isn't. But the good news is there are other ways to improve your health that are actually backed by science.
Yeah, I should see what research says about ways that I can meet the goals that I have, since I really do want to improve my health. But I don't necessarily have to lose weight to do that, or only survive on juice.